Keep America Beautiful was founded in 1953, primarily as a public service messaging organization, creating public education campaigns that encouraged people, of all things, to use a trash can instead of littering. It's hard to believe, looking back, that that was even necessary, but at the time, litter was considered a major national issue. Since then, the issues have thankfully changed and evolved, and we have evolved to meet them. At the core, our mission and all of our programs remain focused on the simple things that individuals can do every day to be better stewards of the earth and their communities. We have always believed in the power of the individual to affect positive change. When one individual reduces waste, recycles, plants a tree, or gets more deeply involved in their community, that action has a ripple effect that impacts friends, neighbors, and families. Keep America Beautiful has three overarching goals on our agenda. First is to increase America's recycling rate. Secondly, to build momentum for community gardens and greening of public spaces. And finally, to engage more young people in their communities through environmental literacy and hands-on learning. To get there, we need to maintain and expand our network of local affiliate and partnering organizations to reach the largest and most diverse population possible. Building momentum for greener public spaces is an area where we especially see great need and potential. To help build a voice and inspire action on this front, we have developed what we call our Get Growing initiative. This is a call to action for civic leaders, our affiliates, and the public at large to demand greener communities. The initiative focuses on creating sustainable community gardens and treescapes that reclaim vacant lots or make use of valuable property near schools and other institutions. Our affiliates leverage their strong social institutions, schools, places of worship, civic organizations, and others. Our programs help to inspire people to love where they live, and these local institutions are important players in the community's cohesion and livability. Also, our ability to leverage public-private partnerships will continue to play a huge role in our success. We know that the most effective and long-lasting changes happen when diverse groups sit down together and forge real-world solutions. We see our organization playing an important role. Some call it the radical middle, that can find common ground and move citizens, businesses, and government to action. A great example of this is the work we're doing on the recycling front, bringing local governments, interested nonprofits, and consumer product manufacturers together to create outreach and education programs that both educate the public and build the infrastructure necessary to make an impact. Our real strength and effectiveness lies in our direct connection to communities through our affiliate network and through our partnering organizations. Our programs are designed to be measurable, accountable, and highly impactful. Our methodology applies across all of them. We get the facts, we involve the public, we develop a plan, we focus on results, we measure to manage, and then we reinforce by rewarding successes. We have a long history of establishing successful public-private partnerships that intentionally engage all stakeholders in finding solutions to issues. Finally, we are effective because we invest in our staff, providing them with the opportunities to be creative, to collaborate, and to work in an environment where learning and growth are not only encouraged, but expected. Keep America Beautiful tracks success both programmatically and globally across our entire organization. For our programs, we look towards tangible change over time, from the current state, whatever it might be, to the ideal state. This, of course, takes many forms based on the program and its objectives. so let me elaborate and provide a few examples. Our litter prevention programs are measured using our litter index system, a mapping and qualitative measurement protocol that provides affiliates with a cumulative score for benchmarking progress year to year. It also provides granular data for targeting hotspots for intensive cleanup efforts or educational programs. It's been central to our success on the litter front. We have similar program metrics in place to help measure against objectives for everything we do. From a global perspective, we survey our affiliates twice a year in order to gauge how well our programs meet their local needs and to determine the larger social benefits of our system. For example, we determine the cost-to-benefit ratio of our community service efforts using the independent sector valuations of the value of volunteer time. This is how we arrive at our 24-to-1 ratio of value returned on investment. The biggest misconception we face as an organization is that our work is done for aesthetic reasons only, or beauty for beauty's sake. That couldn't be further from the truth. Beauty is not a bad thing, of course, but it's a very, very small part of the story. We have always kept our eyes on the bigger picture, the positive social and economic value of cleaner, greener communities. We are incorporating the larger concepts of sustainable communities into the planning and structure of many of our programs. We're hoping to redefine beauty to include these values and, just as importantly, the inherent beauty of individuals uniting and working together towards a common goal, the beauty and patriotism of volunteer service, and the power of local pride. Each one of our many programs has its own set of accomplishments. Here are some that we're the most proud of. Our 4 million annual volunteers have, over the last decade, provided 73 million hours of service to their communities. This equates to about $1.6 billion that would have otherwise been carried as a burden by local government and taxpayers. Over the same span, these volunteers have removed 1.7 trillion pounds of litter and debris from the landscape. They've improved nearly 1 million acres of parks and public lands, 50,000 miles of trails, and 90,000 miles of shorelines, rivers, and lakes. They've planted 1.7 million trees and removed over 160,000 separate graffiti sites. Our school-based programs reach over 1 million students annually, and our outreach and public service announcements have won top industry honors for strategy, execution, measurement, and effectiveness. I would also count the formation and expansion of our local network as among our major accomplishments. Without direct ties to communities, none of our work would be possible. A growing challenge, and perhaps our largest vulnerability, is the ability to engage young people in our leadership structure, especially at the local affiliate level. Most of our affiliates were formed in the 1970s and 1980s and have maintained their leadership over time. This is a rapidly graying group, and I count myself among them. Technology and media, our entire society, all are evolving rapidly. We need a base of local leaders that know how to harness this change. The next generation is inspired and motivated to community action, but they are also notoriously self-focused. They understandably want to work with their peers. They want opportunities to take risks and experiment and try new things. Our policy has always been to pass funding and other resources down through our network using our established system of merit-based grants. We would seek and use resources that help us to expand our capacity as a national organization. This includes expanding our footprint by adding more affiliates and partnering organizations, especially in a few key geographic areas where we still do not have strong coverage. And we would ramp up our outreach through media and technology so that we can ultimately reach more individuals with our messaging and educational programs. Finally, we would work to engage more young people in our programs and our structure. On the recycling front, we see a need as well as an opportunity for building infrastructure in public places to support recycling away from home. We see a need to unify efforts that promote and sustain recycling in urban areas and multifamily dwellings. We also see a strong need for bringing recycling opportunities to rural areas, a large portion of America that is still underserved by our current infrastructure. On the community greening front, most decision makers and influencers understand the value of bringing natural beauty to the living environment, but creating momentum to actually make it happen will require stronger coalition building than has happened previously, both within our organization and others too. Getting community gardening to a tipping point will require political will, local partnership, and external resources and expertise. Across the board, there are definite research gaps. We need to better understand the macro forces behind our work, socioeconomics, population changes, and industry trends. There are still things that could be better studied in the realm of individual activation. For example, what inspires people to change behaviors or take a more active role in their communities? The better we understand this, the better we can hone our programs to take the right and most effective approach.